Hi, my name is Phương La, and I'll be introducing you to the programming language C# today. It was something that I had to learn to complete my game development project in Unity. And although a big part of C# is a .NET framework, I didn't actually have to go into that area. But nonetheless, I still think it's a very interesting and very useful programming language that we should all get to know. So what is C#? Well, as mentioned, it was part of the .NET initiative. It was developed by Ander Heichberg and his team at Microsoft. Their purpose was to deliver several types of applications that support object-oriented programming. In simple terms, they were trying to create applications that work on any device, anywhere, anytime. C# is a language that derived from C and C++, but it was created from the ground up. Microsoft started with what worked in C and C++ and included new features that would make these languages easier to use. Many of these features are very similar to what can be found in Java, like how inheritance work. C# also removes some of the complexities and pitfalls of Java and C++, including the removal of macros, templates, multiple inheritance, and virtual-based classes. These are all the areas that either cause confusion or potential problem for developers. And last but not least, C# is also one of the programming languages designed for CLI, which is short for Common Language Infrastructure. Here is a .NET implementation of the Common Language Infrastructure. The name says it all. It is a structure that allows for multiple high-level languages to be used on different computer platforms without having to be rewritten for architecture purposes. So as we can see, the individual languages get compiled into a platform-neutral language called the CIL. And that platform-neutral language finally get compiled to machine-readable code, which then execute on the platform. This fulfills Microsoft's vision for the .NET framework of delivering information to the user on any device anywhere. There's a couple of features that are worth mentioning about C#. First, it is a strongly typed language, which means whichever data get processed in C# needs to have a defined type. For example, it can be a string or an integer or even a user-defined type. Another characteristic of C# is that it is both object-oriented and component-oriented. That means on one hand, it uses objects, which include classes and methods, and focus on the relationship with each other. But on the other hand, it also focuses on making reusable code, and each class is counted as a component that can be interchanged. And finally, software that we write in C# can be event-driven. That means some function can get called by user-initiated events, such as a mouse click or button press. Here's a typical outline of a C# script defining a class. You can see that we use namespace. A C# namespace provides the same level of utility as a Java package, with very similar rules and features. A namespace can be imported into the script with the using syntax. Here's an example of how C# is used in Unity, the game engine. So there's my project. Here are my C# script. This script controls the gameplay and the physics and the rule of the game. And one thing to note is that every script has to be attached or connected to a game object, which is an object that is appeared on the screen when you play the game. So let's take a look at board manager. Click on that, it opens up on Visual Studio. So right here we call our necessary library and we define our class called board manager. And this is an example of inheritance in C#. This board manager class derived from a parent class called model behavior. And this is necessary if you want it to attach it to a game object. And right now it is attached to the game manager object. So if you look down here, we declare a member variable called exit. And basically that is the exit sign for the game. So down here, we instantiate that exit sign at a particular location, which is the upper right hand corner of our game board. So if we go back to the game manager object, we can see that it uses a script called board manager and it has an exit. And so if we display this game object on the scene, here's our board, and we can see that the exit sign appear on the upper right hand corner as designed